I lost my daughter, Neresia Tolliver, October 17th, 2015. I didn't get any justice because the witness was scared to come forth. And I just feel like I'm walking around Red 9 in the Wild West.
The 2015 shooting death of Regina Tolliver's 17-year-old daughter, Neresia, is one of Miami-Dade's unsolved murders. While there was an initial arrest, the case against the suspect was ultimately dismissed when a key witness did not show up to testify.
We say witnesses, witnesses, witnesses. We must understand now that a lot of the witnesses, they are so afraid. They're so afraid.
A problem that we've wrestled with for a long time is the fear that witnesses have in coming forward. Whenever they are witnesses to a murder, they fear retaliation.
Miami Assistant Police Chief Armando Aguilar tells us that's one of several factors leading to a declining clearance rate for homicide cases. According to the FBI, the clearance rate for all departments in Miami-Dade was 49% in 2015. Over the years, it went up and down, ending in 2020 with a clearance rate of 43%. In Broward, the clearance rate was 67% in 2015, spiked to over 70% 3 years later, then dropped to 46% in 2020. Both counties settled below the national average of 52%.
The other challenge has been the proliferation of firearm-related murders, murders also with high-capacity weapons that are just, on the whole, a lot more difficult to solve than other types of murders. There's much more physical distance between the killer and the victim. So the killer leaves behind much less trace evidence. It's more difficult to establish a connection between the victim and the suspect, and so it's just an easier crime to get away with, unfortunately.
Aguilar also blames COVID as a factor for the decline in 2020. Many detectives were off the street with COVID. Conducting face-to-face interviews was more difficult, and proactive community efforts were limited. Despite that, Aguilar said now, Miami PD is seeing decreasing murders and increasing clearance rates. In 2020, police report there were 61 murders in Miami, with a clearance rate of 44%. In 2021, Miami dropped to 47 murders, increasing the clearance rate to 47%. And for the first 5 months of 2022, there were 15 murders. Miami police have solved that same number of killings this year. However, nearly half are from previous years.
Last year, we had a near record low number of murders, and this year we're 35% below the number where we were year-to-date. Year-to-date last year.
He says since 2020, Miami police doubled the number of guns taken off the street, and they're turning their focus onto repeat offenders.
We know that they're not just committing murders, they're committing a whole host of other crimes, and so we've taken whatever opportunities we could to charge them criminally in those offenses, thereby taking them out of the picture and preventing as many murders as possible.
When they're suspected of murder, that gets them off the street, but does not clear the homicide case. Police are also honing in on domestic violence cases.
We feel that we've been able to step in and stop the escalation of domestic violence cases to what could have been murders.
For the families of murder victims, they want to see one thing.
And all I want to see is the community come back together and stop the killing. But you got to get these killers off the street, because if you don't, we're going to continue to have what we're having, killing after killing.
The families of murder victims say an arrest will not make the pain go away. However, they do feel some solace knowing that someone's being held responsible. In Miami, Ted Scouten, CBS 4 News Tonight.